what you can see now is actually the dashboard of a administration user, so admin user who can see everything. Let me quickly explain what we do. The software is actually a 1 megabyte little file that you install on all the company's workstations and laptops. What this 1 megabyte file does is actually collecting all the employee is doing on that device. When I say all he's doing, it's which software he's accessing, if it is SAP, Oracle, internal software, Salesforce, and the time he spends on these softwares. And it's not only within the company, the softwares, but also external websites, YouTube, Excel, PowerPoint, everything. So from the moment the user logs in Microsoft, this agent collects the information until the moment he logs off.
So this is perfect for both remote working and in-office working.
Absolutely. So as soon as what the agent does, it collects even on remote locations. As soon as internet is there or available, it will actually pass that information into the system itself. Yeah, so it's fantastic for remote as well as in office.
And it helps the staff manage their time. It helps them be more productive and more aware and more disciplined.
Absolutely, because in our philosophy, the software, we have both versions, that it can be stealth mode or visible. But in the visible mode, the employee actually sees his own timeline. And what we learned is that if I review myself and I see the time I'm spending on certain tasks, it actually makes me aware of it and improve myself. And as a quick result, what we see in most of the organizations who have chosen to work with the software Barkun is that employees are coming on time, but they're also leaving now on time because they get far more done during the working hours they are contractually obliged to work for, and which they get paid for as well.
And this is a big problem. Talking to a lot of people, they feel like they're working too much at home. And there's no way to monitor it, so they're on all the time. So at least with this, they'll be able to shut off at the right time. Their manager will know what they did. They will be totally aligned with what's going on in the office. So I think it's a great solution for all involved. And I think it could be a nice option even for those institutions who have decided after the COVID situation to allow some of their staff to work. So this is very empowering for both staff and the organization.
Absolutely, and it works in both directions. So for example, if certain employees are having too many tasks and they can hardly manage, it starts monitoring or showing that there's maybe need for further resource here to support that staff, and it can be analyzed. Is it really the productivity, or is it really just the workload that is taking too much of the time of that employee?
So show us the solution, Sinan.
Absolutely. So this is the dashboard, and it shows me my employees. Yeah, this is a demo version. It shows me the employees, and it shows me something you can see here on the right called BQ point. Now, the BQ point is how we measure productivity. This is very important. We say that it is the contractual working hours, part-time, full-time, or whatever has been decided for different countries or different areas or different job types, against the time spent on productive defined software. So I give a little example. If I'm in marketing, YouTube might be productive for training for various reasons. If I'm in sales, I might decide YouTube is distracting. Yeah. So if an employee comes to office and spends 2 hours on YouTube, it will not count into the BQ points. His BQ points will be low. So if we see a BQ point of 89 BQ, that means that pretty much 89% of the working hours was work productive. And if this was 120, I might think, okay, here's some overtime of that employee, or working a little bit, over that normal time. And I can then monitor if he's doing it frequently or just occasionally. So this is how we monitor productivity. Below here, we have the daily network usage, bandwidth. So if the office has issues in internet, that there are too much traffic, you can see where it's coming from. Then we see the daily attendance, what time they logged in, what time they logged out of the system for the employees. I can see the most productive software. For example, here, I don't know, this software has a very difficult name, but they spent as a company 91 hours and 41 minutes on this defined software. Yeah, on Excel, 29 hours and 60 minutes that day.
So this actually helps the entity also know what products are being used by the staff and what's not being used.
Absolutely. For example, you can possibly reduce quite some software licenses you have purchased where you now realize they're not utilized. So it gives also those informations we have in our reports. Also, you can see the most distractive software, for example, distracting here, 19 hours and 31 minutes of Skype, or Firefox, yeah, 1 hour, 23 minutes.
But that could be used in work as well, Sinan. It could be a work-related meeting.
Absolutely, but then it will be defined as productive. Yeah, so the managers or the employee can request this. If it, and I'll show now how that works. So let me choose an employee as an example. So for example, let me choose Alina. So I want to look at Alina's day. And let me do the view, a minute, for the, not the year, but for the day. Give me 1 second. So I can see that Alina came to office at 8, logged in Microsoft. She was almost 59 minutes away from her desk, because our system not only tracks productive and distracting software, it also starts monitoring idle time when an employee doesn't touch or move the mouse or the keyboard for 4 minutes or 3 minutes or 2 minutes, as our clients want to set it. Okay. So she was away from her desk or was reading something. Then she was a little bit distracting, productive, again, distracting, productive. So I see her day. So yellow means idle, green means productive time, red means distracting time. And there's another color, not here, blue is when there's a workflow. And let me go in detail. Below, I can see by hours exactly what she was doing, how she spent her day. And some of our larger clients use this to understand what are the high performers doing in comparison to low performers, and how could they maybe change or improve the low performers by actually seeing how they spent their day at work. Okay, and this is for certain skills. What I can also do is I can see activities. So Alina, on December the 2nd, she spent 2 hours and 35 minutes in Google Mail. And I can see the mail's headers. I can't read the email. I can see the mail headers and the time she spent on it. And the same accounts, if I would have Excel, PowerPoint, any of the softwares, the file name and the time spent. All right. So if an employee spends 4 hours on a PowerPoint presentation, could be justified, but it could also be questioned if a manager starts noticing such kind of time spent. Okay. It shows me the distracting software. So here's Skype. In this company, Skype was seen as distracting. Not so much time spent, so not really relevant. And it could be any other Microsoft Photos. Okay, so 43 seconds spent on that. Then I have the idle time. So as I said in the morning, in the timeline, she was away for a long time. It shows here, she was away 59 minutes. And if she wants to turn this into productive, that she said, I had a morning meeting actually that morning, she can just click here, say, I had a morning meeting with Sinan or Sana, and send it off for the manager to approve. Okay. Now, if I monitor that employee now per week, I can see her daily BQ points very fast. Or if I look at it per month, also it will show the days she was not in office. Yeah. So for example, here she was almost 90% productive of her working hours. Yeah. Here even I think overtime. No, still 91. We see some users who have 120, 130 sometimes. Yeah.
So whether she's home or at the office, it monitors it.
Okay. Absolutely. And here you can see, for example, her average, which is above the office average. Office average is orange, the orange line of all the employees in average. And then her average for the whole year, she's above. And specifically in May, she was very active. Yeah. Yeah, then we created something, and I will show maybe from another system, same system, but from another demo account. Just bear with me a second. So, for example, we created something which is called Office TV. Yeah, it's a little gimmick, but you can see actually all the screens live real time. And we have different levels of, and the client has to decide if they want this low resolution, mid or high. We always recommend low resolution because I can
understand. How many,
understand.
Sinan? For up to how many staff?
Oh, there's no limitations on the staff.
Really?
They can
Wow.
be thousands. We have clients with 2,000 to 3,000 employees. Absolutely.
You can still have this view with.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it depends. Yes, I'll show you in a while. Actually, I can show you now. If we go here to people and computers, I can create teams. All right. I didn't explain this in the beginning, but you can create teams. So this could be different types of teams. This will be the users of the team, the managers who are monitoring only their employees. So the employee sees only himself. He sees his own timeline, and he can see his screenshots, and he can see everything he's doing. He can also delete certain intervals, but the manager will see it and will be aware that there has been something deleted. We do this for the privacy regulation purposes. Okay.
Sinan, I think also this is good, especially if you have external teams or overseas teams or freelance teams, or maybe even consultants. You want to know what's going on. You can group them into different categories, right?
Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And I wanted to show you, if I can, just need to quickly find the right screen for that. 1 second. Not in the reports, in the work calendar shifts. So here, for example, because you mentioned different countries and we have clients cross-border. 1 minute, let me go here. I set up even if it's Monday till Friday or Sunday till Saturday. So depending on also where we do those settings, very important is we have the user calendars embedded, which can be integrated as well, where it shows who's on annual leave, what was the public holidays. And why I need that is when I run my reports, I can then see that that employee worked maybe only 18 days that month due to annual leave, due to certain public holidays that were taking place. Okay. And they can make a simple leave request through the system. We also added, and I would like to show that, we also added into our system something called a performance management, and some clients need this to have repetitive tasks monitored. Now, this could be, what is a repetitive task? It could be something like creating customer files, or it could be printing credit cards if it is a bank, for example. Now, the employee in his dashboard has the ability to say, I did 5 of those today, I did 10 of those today. And I can assign to different teams, different reoccurring tasks, which are again linked with certain timelines that are going into my performance review of how I'm doing every day, every month, every week.
You can link it to KPIs and all of that.
Absolutely. So what we did is we created, and I'll show it here in the team competency, we created a scorecard. Now this scorecard can be as of the client's requirement. So it will take the weightage, we call it the weight of, for example, the BQ, working hours against productive software time, which is weight was 40%. It can be the task performance, which we mentioned, the different tasks I'm going to add that they automatically are weighed. The manager can review and say, hey, he said he did 10, but actually it was 8. And he can then correct it here. Yeah. Plus the managers can start filling in certain criteria that are important for the evaluation for each employee. And what will happen is that by every month or every week, the employee can see his performance from the system. Did I do all right, or is there improvement, or and so on. So it's quite a nice tool that some of our clients are using. So let me show you one more little part, and I think we went through the main parts of the system. I mean, obviously there's a lot of configuration. As I said, you can make it stealth mode, details, screenshots. So the customer can customize. You can say, I don't want my managers to be monitored, but I want my managers to monitor their team members. All this can be set in the system. I can decide not to put screenshots. It's all up to our clients. how they want to utilize. But I want to show you some of the reports. And I think this is let me move to the other demo, 1 second.
Sinan, if a company, an institution, a government entity, they want to host this locally, can they do that?
Absolutely. Actually, this is what we are doing with the UAE government. It is hosted on their own servers. This is for pure security reasons. And absolutely, we support that. So we ask the clients to provide the server, the area where we can put the software, and then pretty much we get remote access. And then we help when there are certain updates, then we set those up. Yes, absolutely, we do this. And most of our larger clients, if it's more than, I mean, we like to say like more than 100 employees, we are open to discuss on their own servers. But most of our clients with 1,000 or 1,200, 800, 600 employees, they do actually prefer to have it on their own service for security. Absolutely. And our cloud, just for information, for example, all the screenshots that are, if they are even detailed settings, they are actually in Google Cloud. So we use Google Cloud for that purpose. So let me run a report just to show. So what I want is a monthly attendance report. I want it to monitor the activity of 24 hours, not only working hours. You can choose which one you want. And also you can track people only by working hours or 24 hours. It's up to the company. I want everyone below 50 BQ points, meaning he worked half the day, to be highlighted. So let me just run this report and it will quickly download it. You will see. Normally comes here on the bottom, but now, yep. So let me just open this report, which comes on my other screen. So let me just pull it over. So here, and I will make it a little larger because we don't need to see everything. I see the names of the employees and I can see the working days, the monthly off, yearly off, average BQ points, okay, for that month. And then I see the individual days, okay, and when they are off and no activity. But immediately it'll show me here, this employee, which is Yavuz, yeah? He, for example, on the 9th of, Thursday the 9th of July, what happened? I might ask the manager. So within seconds, I can see hundreds of employees who only worked half day, and I can make a little question around what happened. Were they sick, or did they just leave, or what happened? Okay, so one of the lovely features I think we have are the reports. And I'll run one more report because the other reports are as what I have shown on the screens themselves. Another report I would like to show was what you asked on the software. So let me run a report for July 2020. Oh, comes down here. And then
Sinan, this is also available in Arabic as well, yeah?
Yes.
Full Arabic integration.
And I will show that in a second as well. Here you asked me about if I can see different softwares, what is mainly used. Yeah. So for that month, and this is for, again, July, Microsoft Visual. Yeah. I see exactly total hours used, 528 hours by the whole company, mainly on Wednesday, Thursday, even on Saturday, Sunday, down to the lowest software. So I have a full list of all softwares, all sites visited. And when and at what time. And I'll show you one more feature before I turn into Arabic. For example, when I look at the, 1 minute, I wanted to show you something specific, but as always, sometimes you tend to oversee something. So when I manage the activities, when I see what is productive and what is distracting, I actually can also see who is using Skype for Business. 42 staffs are using. Who are they? So immediately it will show me the list of the employees that are using Skype. Okay, so I can also see the users of the different softwares. So if there is a malicious website, by mistake an employee clicked and it came up and I spotted and I realized I can actually see who else has clicked on this. Okay, so it's quite powerful, I think, to keep track of what is happening in the organization as well.
And I think it reduces waste as well, Sinan. A lot of entities, they keep buying new licenses and new products. So this will help in the decision-making process.
Absolutely. And as you see here, we have translated it into Arabic. So pretty much everything is there. Of course, the websites are English, so those will not automatically translate. But the system itself is translated into Arabic. So if I want to, I don't know, run a report, it will all show in the Arabic language. So we have done that as well.
Sinan, a very powerful solution. And I just have to say, the reason I was drawn to this is because I have clients who are very worried about how to manage the whole migration to partial remote work to full remote work, but something like this empowers them regardless, whether it is somebody at the office or whether it is someone preferring at home. The most important thing is productivity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think also with the whole gig economy upon us, and there will be entities who will want a team in India and a team in the Philippines and a team in the US. So something like this will enable them to monitor their different teams in different places and really feel like they are in control of everything. Interested in this, we will leave information on how to get in touch. Take care, huh?
Thank you.
Thank you.